we always like to start the mastermind with shares and wins. So feel free. This is the opportunity to unmute yourself and share something that in this last week or two that's been a win for you. And it could be. It doesn't have to be the appointment. It could be anything. It could be an enlightening moment. Who's first?
I got 2 listings.
Listings. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Take us to those listings. Tell us about how you got those listings. Were they full number leads? Were they? How did that conversation happen?
Let me think. They were, one was from my trial that I had been working, and she finally signed on with me. Full information. I've got everything signed, ready to go. We're listing in May. So awesome. that was the fun one. But out of that, I'm also getting her mother's house, which is in the Northwoods vacation area, about an hour away. And so the sale of her mother's house, the purchase of her mother's house, or a new house, and then the sale and purchase of the one that called in on StreetText. So I'm getting 4 out of it, but as of right now, I only have 1. And then the other lead was like instantaneous. He sent through an email and address only. And I responded to him, and he came back within probably a minute or 2 in all caps in the subject line, "Call me at this number. I want to sell my house." So I met with him 3 days later, and everything's signed, ready to go.
Love
so
it.
I'm stoked. Yeah, I'm stoked. I've been with you guys since beginning of January.
Wow, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Just a quick reminder as well, though, right? I mean, you can get just curious leads. You can get address only leads. You might get somebody who's legitimately not ready to sell, but the homeowners know other homeowners. And that's that one piece of information that can't be overlooked is you need to, again, build relationships. Your goal isn't to just get a lead and try to sell that home. Figure out who they are, what they're looking for, how can you serve them. They might be 8 months away. Well, you have 8 months to nurture that relationship. And if you treat them the right way, you get introduced to other people, which is exactly what we're trying to do. And I get so many agents who say, well, I've been a referral engine my entire career. Great, be a referral engine. Referrals are great. Isn't that what we're all looking for? We all want referrals, but referrals come from meeting more people. The more people you get, the more people who are in your database that are there to refer you, right? So
I tend to go the extra mile. I go above and beyond. That's part of my tagline. And so that goes a very long way. I ended up contacting one of the people who's the mother's house, who I'm going to get up north, closed down her fabric shop that she had when her husband died. And the entire contents of that fabric shop was in her home. So I said, let me do some calls. It was an hour of my time max. I called around to quilt shops and fabric shops in the neighborhood, got someone interested. They went up, they bought 40 bolts of fabric for a couple $1,000s from her and cleared out one whole room of her stuff. And it was an hour of my time, and they are like super thankful because I went out of my way to do that. And they didn't say they said I shouldn't have, And then the new listing I just got from the gentleman that said, I want to sell, call me now. I'm helping them just with my resources of, they already have a house, a vacation home on a lake, completely filled and bought, and they've been living there for 2 years. They're selling their house here in Green Bay, which is completely full, and they just want to get rid of everything. So I gave them lists of charities and ministries and, anyone and everyone that would come pick things up, or do some sales, or auctions, whichever way they wanted to go. And they said they didn't expect a realtor to give that to them. They expected to have to do that all on their own. So it's just those little tiny things that that add up. And to me, I've always been like that. I've always been a helper and a giver and a server. So it was no big deal. I'm just helping people out. And to them, it's just night and day. So, keep those little things in mind.
Amazing.
Logan,
Yeah,
in this group, is this the right venue if we have a question about how the how the system actually works and what we can or cannot do? Is this the venue to do that?
I mean, there's many different venues for that. I would say this meeting here and the insider group is largely for advice on ads, advice on real estate, advice on everything. Your coach can help you a little bit more with the inner workings of StreetText itself. So make sure that you're coming to the intro training if you haven't been there already. The one usually run by Ira, Eric, and Brandon. That's a really good way to kind of get the basics down in terms of what StreetText is. You also have a coach that will be assigned to your account as well to help you with some of the other little things as well. You guys can always ask us questions, anything that you like. But again, the insider group is a little bit of everything. It's every single person that joins StreetText has something to offer and learn. That's kind of the way we like to put it. So whatever that topic is that you're trying to learn, certainly you can post it in that group and you're going to get, you'll get the right answer is the right way to put it, because the answer I might give you might be my right answer. The answer Marcus will give you will be his right answer. But hearing from, 20, 30, 40 different people, all with varying answers, you can really pick and pull from that what you want and is best for you. So the insider group is definitely a great place to ask questions of basically any nature. But yeah, when it comes to just the inner workings of StreetText itself, you may want to just book with your coach and we can help you through a little bit more on that as well.
Yeah, me and Ira are tied at the hip right now.
Ira will get you for sure. Ira knows the stuff.
Kim, hello. Hi, Kim.
what's up, buddy? What's up, buddy?
I have a question for Kim.
Kim.
Sure.
Sorry, Kim. I'm from Los Angeles, and I wanted to know, did you initially reach out to these texts through email or phone call, or how did you convert them initially?
Email. They didn't want to give their phone. They didn't want to give their phone numbers right away, and they didn't give me their phone numbers right away. So when I responded, I was asking questions, and we were going back and forth. One of them was going back and forth with updates, and then eventually, she felt comfortable enough to give me her phone number. The other gentleman, I said, if I can get a phone number, we can get this going now, and it was instantaneously. So.
Oh wow!
But my initial reach out was email.
Did you have a script that you use for everybody, or were you just like, hi, I'm Kim from Idaho. Let me help you.
I have some scripts, a library of email scripts that I send out. And it was, it's basically, I've got a bomb video at the front of it. And I just say, hey, I'm putting my, I'm your local realtor, respond to the ad that you put on Facebook. And here's what I look like, so that you're not talking to, seeing a wall or whatever of email. And then I went ahead and did a quick comp based on public information that I had. Here's a range that I came up with. And I'm still testing whether or not I'm getting better response when I do just the range versus send the whole Cloud CMA, because I use Cloud CMA. And it seems like the range is getting better feedback.
What is getting better feedback?
The range. So if I say, it's $300,000 to $330,000. If I can get into your house, that's in good condition. If you want me to get into your house, and that can be by video, or you sending photos so they don't feel like I'm like jamming to get in there, I said I can give them a better idea. And then make sure, and I always make sure I end it with a question, because you want to keep the conversation going and engage with them.
So what are you using for the platform to give them that range?
Cloud CMA.
Okay.
I don't know if you all have that or not.
Yeah, I have it.
My brokerage purchases it for everybody.
Looks like Deborah has her hand up here.
Hi, yeah. So I've been, oh my goodness, I think November, StreetText. So I just closed on my biggest deal ever.
Yeah.
I was kind of excited. And then I actually got the house behind the house that I just closed on. So that's going on the market in 2 weeks. And I got a condo, which will be closing in about 3 weeks on that one. So I've been kind of excited with StreetText.
Well done. Tell us about it. How did you get those leads? What did you do?
So I use HomeBot. I find sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Just emailing, just trying to communicate, sending them their value and asking, if they were, really serious about selling, then, they need more, I need more information as to give them a more accurate market price rather than just an estimate on public record information. So it kind of worked, and now I'm working with some others. But I find I've been trying to really focus more on the ones that give me like a time. So I have some that are saying 1 to 3 months, 6 months. And I've been trying to focus more on those than the just curious ones, because I find them just curious ones tend to just ghost me or unsubscribe after they've gotten their home value. Or I actually had one this morning. It was like over $2 million home value. And as soon as they got it, they were like, I'm not interested.
It's funny you say that. I actually find that the just curious is a defense mechanism for most people. It's just because they don't know you yet, and they certainly don't want to give away that information to anybody. So they're just, kind of, again, I always tell everybody, address the elephant in the room. When that person clicks on this ad, they think it's instant. We live in this microwave society where I click on an ad, I'm thinking I'm going to get an instant value on the other side of it that says my home is worth this price. This is why your first impression, the first experience you provide, is got to be one that's authentic, and that connection to help that person understand why they're not getting that instant market value. And I've been telling a lot of people, like, they're one search engine away with Google from finding 6 different variations of what their home could be worth, from Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, Redfin, Movado. I know it's different in Canada, but you get the point. Anybody can do a quick Google search to find some sort of value. So what is it that makes you different, and what are you going to do for them that they couldn't find on the internet search engine themselves? So that's the experience you need to bring to the table. And that's about getting them to tell you their story. What's underneath that click? Why are you just curious? Tell me about the just curious.
Ask them key questions. Sorry, Marcus, I had to butt in.
Yes, no, you carry on this conversation, because I think ultimately underneath this all, this is psychology 101. This is, straight up of how to win friends and influencing people, how to build rapport, how to connect with people you've never met before. What do you got to do to make that person feel like they can connect with you, that it's not a hard sell, that it's not about me trying to list your home, that it's about me looking to serve and to give you the best information possible, and to really guide you in whatever goal you have for this home, whether it's an equity goal, whether it's a refinancing goal. Maybe I'm a year or 2 years away from actually considering listing this home, but I'm willing to be there with you the whole way through.
Build a relationship. You're about nurturing, right? We're in a business of nurturing, and we're in the business of building that relationship. Don't go after the sale. The minute you start going after the sale, they're going to get turned off. And that's how it is, because we're in that business, right? We're in the business of nurturing. We're in the business of building relationships. If not them, then who? Identify that. If not you, and not right now, who do you know? Not do you know? It's the key questions, how you ask them, what is your tonality, all of that.
Question for Jeff Moss. What is HomeBot? Why is it excellent? And is it good for Cali agents, or is it good for everybody, or what?
I'd like to throw a follow-up question in there. If there's anybody using list reports out there as well, which has been mentioned, what the difference is. I've been trying to look at the two of them and understand.
Okay, I'll jump on the HomeBot thing. And Marcus, probably my big win for the week was getting Jennifer Salter to use HomeBot. Someone who swore she'd never use it, with a little assist from Leon. She's come over to dark side, after going on and on about how she'd never use it for any number of different reasons. She's finally relented and signed up this week. So
Ooh, wow.
Can someone explain HomeBot? I don't understand how it works.
Yes.
HomeBot is a platform that you can sign your clients up for that touches them on a monthly basis. It incorporates a number of different tools, including value. But in addition to that, it gives them options for refining, for renting out their property. There's a whole myriad of financial relationships within the platform that most people find very, very useful. But first and foremost, it's very inexpensive at $25 a month. It does touch all your clients monthly with what appears to them to be a personalized CMA, if you will. It gives them the ability to tweak their value. It gives them the ability to see what kind of new rate they could get if they refied. There's just, I would recommend going, I don't know if you can trial it or not, but anyone that's not using HomeBot, I would tell you it's been instrumental and responsible for 3 of my StreetText leads being converted into sales. And where I am in Southern California, my return on investment is unbelievable. I'm paying $25 a month. The average sales price for these is between $800,000 and $900,000. So I can't see any excuse for anybody not to use it. The only knock I will tell you is sometimes the values are off.
Yes,
So
that's what I was about to say. Yeah, you're right.
You can't just, I would not just arbitrarily send it out as a CMA without doing some background research. Now, I do use it as a backup CMA, but I will do a legit CMA and compare that value with the HomeBot value. If the HomeBot value doesn't match up, I will tweak that HomeBot value before it goes out. I find the discrepancies occur more in the upper end, the custom homes where we are, as opposed to the tract homes.
So
just real quick on that, just the one thing I wanted to quickly add, and I know that Leon's probably chomping at the bit to add it as well, the fact that correction culture is a very real thing, right? And so, you know, when somebody opens your HomeBot report, you have the ability to see that, hey, somebody's opened it. And I think that's the right opportunity to give yourself, you know, an hour, a day, whatever it is, but give them a short period of time to absorb that material and then reach out to them and say, hey, you know, here's what some of my other clients have found. This HomeBot report's amazing in this regard and this regard. However, it's really only as good as its baseline. And if your HomeBot is going to continue providing, you know, evaluation based on a baseline that's inaccurate, the numbers are never going to be proper. So what I think we should do, now that you've seen the report and you've seen the value I've been able to provide for free, I'm not hounding you, I'm not calling you every second of the day, I've provided you immense value. Why don't we do this? Why don't I come over, have a look at your property, we establish a proper baseline, we can adjust the numbers within HomeBot, and then moving forward, you know, the numbers are considerably more legitimate. Right?
Has
And
anyone
let me
ever
add-
used?
I will add that sometimes the numbers being off are not a bad thing, because it creates an opportunity for discussion. Because I've had responses where a homeowner tells me, I think your value is off, which creates a connection and creates discussion. So it's not always a bad thing. I wouldn't want to rely on it, but it has its advantages.
Jeff, call it the preliminary rough draft estimate. I think everybody should use words like that, because until you can see the home, it's never going to be the true market value estimate. And also, with that being said, one of the most important integrations with HomeBot is BombBomb, surprisingly. So you want to screen record that particular tune your market value of HomeBot and show them all the cool features of HomeBot, the equity side if they need to update it, the mortgage side, the Airbnb and investment scenarios. Obviously, the tune the market value is going to be a big part of that. So when they get that super cool interactive report, they understand how to use it. So I think if you're a BombBomb user and a HomeBot user, don't use it. I mean, use it with synergy. Use it in such a way where you can present the information as a screen recording. And I know that Wendy in Vegas does that as part of her automation, so that if she's going to get people on HomeBot, she's already setting the tone on how to use it initially.
So I agree with Marcus, because what we did is we implemented that right after, you know, I talked to Jen and Jennifer and Wendy, we implemented BombBomb with HomeBot. And Jeff, you're right. HomeBot does not give accurate data, which is good actually, because then you can say, oops, I think BombBomb messed up, or oops, I think this is not the right evaluation because I just sold 123 Main Street right around the corner and that went for this price, right? So it gives you an opportunity to pick up the phone and start talking. If they don't have a phone number, then that's a different thing. You can send something out to them through email or somehow get a hold of them and through email or through even snail mail and say, hey, listen, you know what? I saw that you received an email or you received this through HomeBot. I just want to clarify something. I've not seen your home. I've not seen the interiors of what remodeling you might have done. I would love the opportunity to come by or even to talk to you really quickly. If you can kind of tell me a little bit about the inside of your home. Have you redone anything? Have you remodeled? Whatever. It's a stepping path for you guys to have a conversation, for us to have a conversation with the potential seller. And if not now, in the future, they know you, they'll connect with you, they'll come back to you.
Excuse me, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Has anybody ever used eProperty Report? It's by CoreLogic.
Nope, I haven't.
Yeah, it basically does the same thing. It sends them an updated valuation every month. I was just wondering if anybody had used it.
One of the questions that a couple of people on here have is whether or not you can use HomeBot for your original CMA. And to that, I would say yes with an asterisk. I do the comparison between Zillow and Realtor.com and Redfin and incorporate the HomeBot value. But the caveat is it's an estimate. So if you're looking at just saving time with your video CMA or your CMA, sure, use HomeBot. But again, with the caveat that it is only an estimate.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in there and say something. And I always say this before, if you don't have an assistant, you are one. HomeBot at $25 a month is the best assistant you'll get. If you want to use it as a CMA, when you load people in there, you're going to tweak it anyway to set it up for what's there. But to spring from something last week to bring it into forward, because I've heard it in the group already today, one of the biggest things right now, it's great to have something wrong, like Jenky said. I agree when they tell me it's wrong, you're totally right. But one thing you never forget, I say, do not automate yourself out of a job. Do not hide behind that. When you sit here and you send that out, whether you're doing the BombBomb follow-up or whatever, the thing is, we are the experts. That's why we hold the license. We are the resource. So don't get away from that. When you turn around and you send somebody something, you've already looked up the area, you know the prices. If they disagree, one of the big things we always had before was we pointed out the discrepancy between Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, and all those. So no matter what you're sending out, you're supposed to know your material anyway. So I don't care if it's the RPR, I don't care. I send mine out of my MLS. I'm going to know what I'm sending because when I talk to them, they know I am the person. And now, especially really now, the biggest thing I've been explaining that's given me more wins is the fact that when I explain to them what I'm listing their house for and the fact that they're actually going to get more, the educational process is making them understand that we can beat many things, but the appraiser isn't one of them. So no matter what you're using for a platform to deliver, know your material, know what you're sending out, and when you do that follow-up, do it and send that call and you're talking, whether it's email, text, or voice, be the expert and be the resource, because that's what we are, and that's how you're going to get the win. Last week, some guy said a dude wanted $1 million for a house in Cali. He talked him down, and the guy agreed. He was the resource. He's the expert. That's how we get the wins.
Totally agree with you, Leon. Absolutely.
Yes, and if you guys, the HomeBot, it for me, it's working out brilliantly because I'm okay with letting the information not be 100% accurate, because if it isn't, that seller is going to reach out to you and wonder, why is your CMA different from the HomeBot? And just to kind of let you guys know, I'm not sure if you can see it on my screen there, if they do contact you, you will get a text and you will get an email letting you know that that particular seller is questioning their valuation. So what are you going to do? You're going to need to call them. You can't let it just sit there and forget about it and have it become just an automated system. You need to go in and be able to call them, check things out, because that monthly email that you get letting you know who your active sellers are, that's what I look at to see who I need to contact ASAP. And from there, like for instance, this morning, I had a conversation with another seller who their valuation was different. I explained to them why it was different, and now they understand, and now they're ready to move forward to listing their property. For me, the $25 has now paid itself completely for quite a long time.
Well, you know, it's a good point, but the flip side of that coin, which I've experienced, is if a seller gets that information and find out your analysis is not on point, it could also present a problem. Like, why should I trust what you have to tell me, given your first information out the door is incorrect? How do you overcome that objection?
Repeat that again, just your objection, please.
So you set out, different names you call it, and the seller looks at it and said, this is not right. It's incorrect, it's low, I don't like the number. And therefore, why should I deal with this particular company or individual when the numbers that are going out and initially are incorrect? You see, that's a risk.
Yeah, so what I would say, I apologize, that could be a glitch in the system. I completely apologize. You see, you're owning that right away, but you're building that connection. Your main focus should be to just build that relationship, right? So own it and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I completely apologize for the glitch that you just encountered. I'm sure your home is amazing. I'm sure you've done a lot of work to it, or if not a big deal. Can you give me a little bit of insight to what your home is all about, or what upgrades you've done, if any? Make sure you put if any, and just let it be. I'd love to help you. And again, I apologize. So own that, just say I apologize. And then they've responded. That's a great thing. You want them to respond, but at the same time, you're going to dissolve that situation and feeling in their minds.
And Janky, just to follow up on Janky, I think it's important to let them know that these numbers come about as a function of algorithms. It's artificial intelligence. That's key. So once they understand that, it is the precursor to you getting into more detail about how you as a human can get into the nuts and bolts of the actual value as opposed to relying on AI.
And don't be afraid of that, guys, because I've had that. I've had that issue. Sorry, Jeff, if I cut you off, but I have had that to where most of them came back to me. I think about 4 or 5 of them came back to me, sellers. Okay, this is in the past 1 year, have come back and said, I don't know if you know what you're talking about. As a realtor, you should know these numbers. And I just laughed it off. And I said, I'm so sorry. First, I got upset at HomeBot, but I realized very quickly, this is great, because if they're not giving accurate information, it's my job. And I know this number is wrong. It's my job to turn it around and talk. This is an opportunity I have. So let me turn it around and kind of script it out and let them know that, hey, I apologize. This is what it is. We converted quite a few. Again, I'm not talking numbers. I'm not supposed to, but I'm just letting you guys know that, yeah, we converted quite a few of them just by that.
Yeah, something to remember that Marcus said when this all first started. We go back to StreetText, just the basics. The strongest line was when he was showing the internet best guess. And so when I said earlier about us being the resource, it's our job to explain why the markets are doing what they're doing. When a guy says, I sold it for $700,000, we're here to educate them them about the state of the market. It doesn't matter. I tell a person, I'm going to get you more than we listed for, but you need to explain the why. And so when we go back to basic street text 101, it was whether you're using the old send out about Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever. They don't know what your house is worth. The markets are changing so fast. That's why we are the go-to people. We still have to push across to let them understand we are the best resource they have because our data updates in real time. And the other thing someone said last week that I do as well is I will go pull up in the MLS all the stuff that's sold. I send out and show them what it went for, what it sold for, and I'm giving them the metrics, I'm giving them the numbers so that they can see, but it's the educational process that we're giving them to make it happen.
Just to tag on to what something Leon's talking about there is one of the conversations I'm having with people, because nobody likes the numbers they see really, you know, they have that mentality. We're in a bubble right now, and we are. And what I've started kind of off the cuff winging it saying is, well, you know, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, what we're finding is these numbers are actually more of a baseline start of a bottom point. And that at least that helps you bridge that conversation, telling them what they want to hear. Because the reality, my feeling is a lot of the CMAs we're doing right now, you know, we could sit here and do the work and throw them up in the air because of what else is going on out there. The prices are just going up and up and up. So that's something I say.
Philip, I don't know where you're from, but when people say we're in a bubble here in California, Jeff, I don't know if you agree with this, but we're not in a bubble. That is something that I teach my clients every single day. Why are we not in a bubble? Why does this not make it a bubble which is going to bust like 2008 and 2009? Jeff, help me out here. We're in California. We explain to our clients when they use those words, we explain to them, tell me what you think or your definition of a bubble is, right? And we kind of help educate them that here in California, we're not in a bubble. We're in the Bay Area. We're in San Diego. We see interest rates low, and the feds are going to continue keeping these interest rates till probably a year and a half. We don't know that. But let me tell you why we're not in a bubble. When your clients think and assume, your job, like Leon says, is to educate them that why we're not in a bubble. The inventory is low. The lenders are very strict with their lending guidelines. That's why we're not in a bubble. 2008 and 9, we were in a bubble, or 9 until we were in a bubble because of the lenders. They offered stated incomes, no dogs, this, that, and the other. This time around, we're not in that category. We're very strict with the lending guidelines. Not everyone can own a home right now. So,
I agree with you, but you know, I do, but you know, there's also what the consumer perception is out there, and we can spend all, you know, we can make a career out of trying to change consumer perceptions.
That is our career, Philip.
Exactly. And our job is to educate them, educate the general public. That is our job, you guys. What, you know, if you look at the definition of what does a realtor do? What is our responsibilities? We educate them, we guide them, we share market knowledge with them, we convert them, we build a relationship, and we close. That is it. You know, that's our job.
Just to give some information on the HomeBot thing, I got a phone call the other night from one of my leads that I had sent the HomeBot home value to. So when I do my HomeBot, I also look at my RPR and I compare the pricing. And if it's really off, then I kind of do a quick little search in my MLS for map search in that general area as to what their house kind of prices for, similar to the other neighborhood. So the woman called me and she was quite upset. One, she felt her price was like way off. And the other thing was, in there, you can see loans that you have. And she agreed with all the loans except one. And she was really upset that this loan was attached in HomeBot. And she was, you know, asking me where I got this information. And I really didn't have the answer. So I did contact HomeBot. It actually was a previous owner that loan belonged to, and somehow it got pulled in with the HomeBot stuff. But in talking to her, I also found out that the public information on her house was totally wrong. public information had it as a 3-bedroom house. It's a 6-bedroom house. It's, I think like 1,000, or I'm actually going to see it tomorrow. It's like 1,000 or 1,500 square feet larger than what public record had. So again, I mean, we're only as good as the information that's out there that we have access to.
Mhm.
Deborah, I heard two things from you. I heard this lady called me and I'm going to see her house tomorrow.
Yeah, good catch.
Exactly. The point is you got out there and you got in the door. That's it. That's all that matters to me. Everything else was gibberish. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
You should
I got
Yeah,
should be always
that's-
going, always go for
convert
yes.
that into a listing, right?
Yeah, that's my takeaway from this
Right.
conversation.
That's
Last
awesome.
week-
That's awesome.
and
Hey,
guys-
Grace, I see you have your hand raised. You've been waiting patiently for a little while. Do you have a question or something you wanted to share?
You guys gonna take that box, right?
Yes, I have a question. Oh, and also I want to make a comment about HomeBot and all these discussions. Let's not make it so complicated. It's all about progress, not perfection. When I first started testing with StreetText, I didn't know what to do. So I just, whatever came in, I just put it in HomeBot without even sending them an email or anything. I got somebody 2 weeks later contacted me. They wanted to sell. I didn't even say whether the value's right and nothing like that. I just set it up and it worked. And then also I saw people trying to analyze, oh, what if the owner is not the registered owner on the property? Who cares? It's all an opportunity, right? So just contact them. I call them. I say, hey, I'd be happy to run a report for you. I see that that the title's under so-and-so. And he told me that that's his partner just passed away and he's a beneficiary. So I set a listing appointment with him next week. So, just don't analyze it. And some people do get upset. Maybe those are not the people that are interested. And my coach tells me that some will, some won't. So what? Somebody's waiting. Yeah. Okay.
I say,
This is Brittany with Theory Insurance. How are you doing?
So I'm a full member now for a year. I'm excited. Leads are coming in. I just set them up on. I use Donna's system.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the whole action plan out because they just keep coming in. So I just use RPR and give them a price range, send it, and then see what happens. So it's not about perfection. And then also to encourage you all that are triple analyticals, I sent out some mailers and I made a boo-boo. Somebody was looking in Torrance. I put, oh, Torrance, the reason why they love Westchester. Well, I'm setting 2 different cities. So there's a boo-boo. I sent it out and when I got a copy, I go, oh my gosh, crap, I made a mistake. Well, guess what? I got a call yesterday. Someone wanted to list their house. And he asked me, are your buyers looking in Torrance or Westchester? I said, my bad, they're looking at Torrance. So we set an appointment. So who cares, right? I do have a question. I've been getting some condo owners, and it appears that the site doesn't capture the unit number. So some of them has like 12 units. What do I do? Do I send a letter to everyone? Or can you guys add a unit number?
I had one of those yesterday. And I just simply, if she didn't give me a telephone number, I would have just called her right then and there. But I did email her right away saying, I did get your request and I'm on it. But can you please give me your unit number so I can look at the tax record of your particular, your condo unit? And she responded, bam, right away with unit 201. It was in a condo complex in Kissimmee.
Lisa, these are the street address only, that without a phone number. So if you guys can add a unit number.
Oh, without an email.
Aiden will be able to help you with that if you reach out to support at StreetText. So if anybody needs a unit number, added, say you're targeting condominium unit areas, then that can be added to your funnel very easily.
Okay, that'd be great. And also, I have another question. I've been getting some apartment owners. I guess they want to get out of the landlord or their ownership. Do you know a quick valuation site for commercial properties, like 5 units plus, that I can give them a really general price range, and then I could set it up, schedule a meeting, and because I need to collect the rent roll and everything, but to send them something. Does anybody know of a site that I could use?
No commercial. Anybody?
There's a couple. Crexi, CREXI is one where they post free ones. I'm trying to think of this other one off the top of my head, but there's several out there that are free that you'll just be able to pull what's for the area. But sometimes I still say your best resource at that point might be your title company, just to make the request for them to pull stuff up, because they'll get you the history on the thing or stuff around there that's sold.
Okay.
And then one quick one for HomeBot. For everybody that uses it, if you haven't played with it, HomeBot does allow you to go put CMA in there with a range. So if you're setting it up to send out, why not go look and put something in there? Sellers can still tune their own, but you can set it up with a price and a range so that you're more in a ballpark. If you're just sending it in the blind and not looking, I always go into my realist data. I look at the home. I had a case where there's a house that had 2 houses on the lot and they put the wrong one. So I will reference all the stuff and use my data based on what the realist data has. And if it's still wrong when I pull from the tax thing, then that gives me more conversation with the people, because I can tell them or share with them showing what I had and where it came from. And that further justifies the fact that, you are using your resources, you're showing stuff. And at that point, if there's something to correct, you can help them correct it.
Great. Leon, what was the commercial site that you were referring to?
CREXI, Crexi. That's a free one. And send me something after the group, and I'll look up the other one I used and I'll send it to you.
All right.
Because there's a couple.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Welcome.
There is a couple others. LoopNet is one.
Yeah.
You can have a membership to that, though.
You can not necessarily, unless you want to do a listing. CoStar is another. CoStar actually owns LoopNet.
So I want to remind you guys of the StreetText Academy course. I know this is an old course, but if anyone remembers this script, I want to highlight this because last Mastermind, if you remember watching that, Leon, Allison talked about the ask. She's always asking she's giving them 2 options that she has available. And I love this idea. This is a script I got Jessica 5 listing appointments in 1 week. And it's so simple. It's so simple. What you do is you have your little video in there, but you're giving them that guesstimate, that internet's best guess. And this one is basically you submitted your information for the home evaluation on Facebook regarding your property at blah, 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 Pembroke Pines. I did the research on the homes that have recently sold in your local neighborhood. And without looking at your home, I'm able to provide you with the internet's best guess, which is going to put you in a range between 265 and 303. But I know I can do better than this. So if you'd like a figure you can count on that is custom to your home and only take a 15-minute walkthrough of the home to see the home's current condition, and I promise no long PowerPoint presentations, let me know if Wednesday at 6 or Thursday at 9 a.m. works for you. So, and the key on there is you ask, and you give a couple appointments, and then you learn how to overcome the objections, because if they say, you know what, I was just curious, now you go into, well, how does Zoom or FaceTime work? Hey, you found me on Facebook, we can connect on FaceTime for free. It's really easy. And then if they object to that, then you still have the pictures. You're welcome to send me a few pictures. So you have that option. And then if they object to that, then you go about it and continue and then nurture them with a HomeBot or something report. But I think it's important to ask to get your foot in the door.
Hey, Marcus, real quick. So Georgiana's asked a great question around ad images to run with the funnels. Could you pull up the home value one? We had some incredible success, and Jeff also shared that he's doing ad with a photo of the welcome to a city sign, I believe. Like that, there's a really good angle that you can do. If you're running the map image and you're just saying, okay, why is it that I want to try a different angle with the home value ad to really tap into more results in your market, and you're in a hard market like Hollywood Hills, Vegas, some of these markets were really, really competitive, really Orange County, where Jeff, like that, those are tough markets. And then when you come up with a different ad angle like this, you can really break in a big way. So yeah, I think this is a really good question and really relevant right now, where it's all about dialing in your ad performance and getting it just the best performance you can for the spring market.
You want me to show something?
Yeah, share some of those.
Well,
some of the ad types, just so everyone sees what to do.
I mean, based on what my advice is, always start here. Like, I know a lot of people are using the funnel that they started with the little emojis that says, if someone were to buy your home, would you sell it? Find its value in the current market. But I actually have been doing that same image, and actually the satellite image. I don't care if you don't like it or not. Like I get people are like, well, it's too dark. The satellite image, it's my go-to now. It's my default. I actually go there before I do the map or the terrain. I go to the satellite image, especially if there's a contrast in the water, like the ocean. I love it.
And this is the What's Your Home Really Worth funnel, which is really important. This one is just killing it.
So so if you look at the funnels in the StreetText dashboard, most people, they start with the seller property valuation conversion. And it's what we're known for. It's got 28,754 people. It's averaging a 60% click to contact, a $2 address, $6 email, $18 phone number. But if you actually look at the funnel, that's What's Your Home Really Worth, it's actually better. It's $1.97, $5.49 email, and about a $16 phone number. It's only a couple bucks cheaper on average, but it's less used. It's less used, and its click to contact ratio is actually 4% higher. But with that, you actually have to go into your asset section of your dashboard in your funnel setting after you create one of those property valuation ads, and then you have to go grab that. So you're basically grabbing this photo, because you can't build it in the What's Your Home Really Worth funnel. You have to actually grab the photo and upload it into that funnel, and then it works just as well. I mean, obviously you can put in any image you want there. I just tell people, listen, the whole point of this image is that it's inclusive to everybody in that 15 miles and a little bit wider. You put in a blue home there. If I don't like a blue home, I'm not clicking on it. If I don't like the architectural style of home, I don't like it. If you put in an image that's a landmark, let's say you're in LA and you put the Hollywood sign up. Well, if I don't care for Hollywood, I'm not going to click on that. With a map, the whole reason why that works so well is because no one is looking at it saying, oh, I hate your map. They use it every day. It's inclusive with the image. You zoom out more than a 15, you don't want to zoom in too much to that image. It has to be wide enough to show that 15-mile minimum radius. If anything, make it a little bit wider just in case someone's coming from outside the area.
Can you walk through as well some of the landmark images that are working and explain why they're working?
Well, I mean, I think you just got to figure out what's organic and native to your market. So, I had someone in Fargo, or I forgot where it was, just use a welcome to Fargo sign. Like, so if you're using something that's, in Vegas would be the Strip. In San Francisco, maybe it's the Golden State Bridge or Golden Gate Bridge. But then again, you have to test it. So everything comes down to putting it in there and then split testing it for 24 hours.
You just have to think of like what you could literally walk down your street, take a photo of your clock tower in the center of your town or city, if that's an iconic picture for your town. If it's something everybody knows, everyone likes, like in our city, we have the sails. You could use the sails because it's like a monument statue thing. And everybody knows it's like, this is like the heart of the city. Or you could take a photo of Knox Mountain, that would be a really good one. Or, you know, if you're like in Orange County, like I believe, Jeff, you're using this like a picture of the sign, welcome to the city. So it's
for Jeff, that makes sense because Orange County is big, it's 15 miles. But if you go throw in Knox Mountain or welcome to Kelowna, you're speaking to Kelowna, but you're not speaking to all the neighboring towns around Kelowna. And so unless someone says
so that's a good point. So you want something that's big enough that everybody that you're targeting would resonate with it.
Exactly. Here's an image that Jennifer Salter is using right now, and it's just a home, but she's gone a little bit further. I think she probably built this in Canva, is you know, showing that this home is worth 315, this home is worth 337, and she's entering it into the what's your home really worth funnel. So all this to say too, for everybody that hasn't done so already, you can see Jennifer has Jennifer Sells Homes. She's already registered her domain. So you need to make sure you do that. If you haven't already, register your domain. It shouldn't say StreetText there anymore, because at some point that's going to go down, and a big part of your brand is going to be, as you can see, if I click on this particular ad, her Jennifer Sells Home link is there too. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, to register your domain, you're just going to go straight to your settings, click on domains, and register that, just like Jennifer did, because at some point your conversion ads will go down if you don't have that domain.
And one thing you'll notice there is that the photo or the image you use for your ad will be the same image that gets used for your landing page, even if it's custom or unique to you. And the reason for that is that when a person clicks on the ad and they land on that landing page, instantly their brain is telling them, I'm in the right place. Because if that ad was different, or if that image was different, they're bail. It's a trust thing. They're like, oh, where did I go? Where did I get taken? I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. So you want to reinforce the message. I'm in the right place. It's what I saw. I clicked on it. I see it again. And your conversion rate climbs as a result.
Yeah, I can share my screen for a sec if you guys want to see. This is an image that I've been recommending to most of my clients. So if you guys are, you know, part of my team here, this is the kind of imagery I've been finding to be very, very, very beneficial. Now, this is Kelowna, this is where we are, but it's something of this nature where it's not.
Didn't Steph take this photo?
Steph did take this photo, yeah. So you guys can't have this photo, but the idea is, this is the idea where it's not focused on one architecture style type. And like Marcus was saying, if it's an image of a blue home, you're attracting, you're attracting realtors who likes homes more than realtors or buyers. But when you use an image similar to this one, it has the same feel as the map. Whereas you're whipping through Facebook, you go, oh, I recognize this. I'm here right now. So it doesn't have to be the nicest photo ever, but it does, in my view, needs to be something like this that's instantly recognizable. It places the individual, like the map does, where they currently are. And if nothing else, it stops the scroll. Then they're going to read your ad copy. If they also like your ad copy and they want to sell their home, wonderful. But the image is 100% meant to simply stop that scroll, and that is it. So if you use an image that's incredibly relevant to that individual and where they are, and it's not tied to all commercial properties, it's not tied to one property type, it's, hey, there's residential in the area that you're in, it ties it all together nicely. And, you know, it doesn't work every time, but I've certainly find it very, very, very beneficial. It's working more often than not, I would say.
So Stephen, let me ask this question, since we're at the end of the thing. Once the iOS kick sets in, besides the opt-out, are some of these other folks that do not have their pages optimized or with the new domain, what is the major hit? Are their ads going to quit running, period, or just nosedive in the visits?
I don't know, Jonathan, if you want to take that one. As far as I know, any ads that are built under the conversion objective, which is basically any marketing individual who, let's just face it, knows what they're doing right now, they're using the conversion objective. We've been using it almost exclusively for 3 years now. Any ads that were built under that conversion objective, which is the one that kind of completes the loop. You know, Facebook sees a click, StreetText sees a lead, StreetText or your conversion objective is able to essentially feed that information back to improve the algorithm. As far as I'm aware, those ads are going to die. They're simply going to be gone, just like the ads that you guys built before the special housing ad category. Well, what happened? Facebook said, hey, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. The people who didn't kind of get everything built under the new parameters with the 15 miles and all that stuff, well, their ads went dead, right? And people who kept those ads running, even though the ads were they should have been turned off. People were having their ad accounts banned. So what happens, we're not entirely sure. I would suggest, but I would suggest get your domain registered and do it now.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have it so that automatically your like once you've set up your custom domain, if you already are running a conversion ad and it's just absolutely killing it, you can leave that ad running. The conversion pixel will automatically fire from your new domain that you set up. Facebook will still get the data it needs to know that it's targeting the right people and it's getting the right people to your ad. So everything on StreetText then will keep working, no problem, as long as you set up your custom domain. So set up your custom domain and you're good to go. So that's really already set up your custom domain. Not only are you going to get branded ads, so when you launch your ads, it'll all be branded, so nobody will know it's StreetText, which I think that's a win for everyone. The other win is that you're going to have a custom branded domain that you can put into your postcard, marketing, that kind of thing. So you got those. So it's really a good thing. The other one is that if you have ads that are already working, they're going to keep working. The pixels are now going to fire from your new domain. So you don't have to worry about that. But know that if you don't set up the custom domain and Facebook makes that switch, they're not going to be able to read any of the data that you're currently sending them. And so because of how the new rules apply after the iOS 14 update. So basically it limits how many conversion events can be placed on any domain that you're running. So you can have up to 8 per domain, and that includes subdomains. It can get a little technical, but it's actually, if you break it down to that, that's basically it. If you have 8 events, per domain, you can still crush it with conversion ads, but you need 8 events to per domain. So you have to set up your custom domain.
So here's where I get the funny part, and I hope everybody's listening that's still on a meeting. The impact that's going to be on a lot of other folks, because in looking around other places, I haven't seen too many other companies that have really helped set people up. They've thrown things out there like this is what's going to happen, but I haven't seen them really helping with the solutions to the level that you guys have gone. So my thing for me is I fully intend to blast out my ad thing as soon as it goes online and comes into being, because I want to take advantage of stealing more market share, because everybody else will be scrambling, trying to catch up at that point.
Yeah, so Facebook's algorithm, it's looking for relevancy of ad and it's looking for conversions. And if it sees those two things, it actually bids on your behalf. So sometimes you'll see leads start getting in really cheap. The reason is that Facebook's giving you money towards your bid against everyone else. If the rest of the market hasn't caught on to what's happening, their ads are going to stop performing. And Facebook, as far as they're concerned, is I don't want to help that ad. It's irrelevant. It's not converting. I will help Leon's ad. I'll put money towards Leon's ad, and then Leon's ad will get way more traction. So yeah, it's gonna be a really prime opportunity. So if you're set up now, you're good to go. It's a prime opportunity. Wherever there's transition, there's opportunity, and this is a moment of transition in the ad world, and it's gonna affect every single advertiser. The only reason we knew about it when we did, as soon as we did, was because of the fact that we're an ad tech partner of Facebook. So they started working with us as soon as they knew anything, and they're like, hey, we need to basically R&D this together just so we can figure out what needs to go in place. That's probably why you haven't seen more people take into it, because they just maybe not as aware of what's coming into the market as far as these changes and these updates. But it's a big update. 94% of Facebook's ad revenue, as the last published, is from mobile. 94%. 80% of all their traffic, everybody who uses Facebook, 80% of them are using it from mobile phone, and they're logging into the Facebook 8 times a day. So it's a big update. So if you're running ads, you're running it on mobile, it's being seen on mobile. All of those conversion events are going to be going through mobile. So it's going to affect everybody's ads. So having it set up, knowing that it's happened, as long as you set up the domain, we got all the hooks and built in place as far as upgrading their API, and your ads will be good to go. But yeah, again, it's basics.
Pixels?
Pardon?
The pixel number that we put on our landing pages and things like that, like in our CRM, is that going to change?
No, your pixels will be fine. Your pixels will be fine. It's just about your basically what you have now on your Facebook side when you set up your custom domain is you can set like what events you want to fire under domain. So you can have as many domains per pixel as you want, as long as you have 8 events per domain that you've got under there. And so it's really, we walk you through it. It's got a great system. It'll follow you all the way through the steps. And if you get stuck anywhere along the line, we have tons of resources, and we're doing live, Aiden and Troy are doing live setups every day right now on that end. So, but your pixels will be fine.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. This is my first mastermind, and I've so enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys next week.
Well,
Yep.
love having you, Lisa.
One last question to go off piggybacking on what I asked as well. So if I turn around and say other people have multiple domain names, they can redirect it to the StreetText domain name we have to help drive traffic there as well from other sites they have as well, correct?
Yeah. You'd want to send it to the specific funnel that you're wanting to target on that domain. But yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Any last minute wins?
I have yes, one. I have one too.
Go ahead, Miriam.
So my 2 of my StreetText leads got under the contract last week. Yay! And so I had very, very, very good conversation last week. It didn't change to a listing agreement or anything, but it was really great, because normally it really doesn't happen often that I get response from my BombBomb videos. But 2 of the clients actually responded back to my video and thanked me, and they said they are super appreciated for the video that I provided, and they said that they're not ready, but they enjoyed the video and they enjoyed all the information, and they keep me in mind. And I put them in my CRM, so like bi-weekly they receive the report. But it was a win for me with the BombBomb and StreetText, of course, that they finally, because I thought that my videos never get watched, because when I look at the BombBombs, it was like 0 play, but at least these 2 clients made my day last week, made my week. So yeah, I'm gonna continue with them, and I'm gonna change them to like lifetime friends, and eventually I'll change them to transaction very, very soon.
Love it. Hey, let me reiterate. Part of what I'm seeing, like Wendy and Jennifer and a lot of those people do, and this is entirely up to you, is always include your personal social in your emails, and just say you're looking for that connection. Because if you can get them somehow to be your friend on Facebook, if they're open for that, now they see you every single day, and not just in your email drip, or when you check in, they're getting to know you and like you, and that's part of the way you create influence on social media, is for them to get to see that side of you, because that's your tribe already. That's the people that are already following you. And you got to be okay with that. Obviously, it's got to be something that you're okay with, just being your authentic self. I know some of you have posts on there, but maybe would create division. So you have to acknowledge that they'll eventually go seek you out anyways. Personally, anybody's going to do their own research, just like you do yours. So if that person's smart enough as a homeowner, while they're trying to figure out if you're somebody they're going to let into the home, they're going to go research you out. They're going to try to find some of your own personal social too, not just your business. So it's always something, I think, if you take that leap of faith and start trying to connect on Facebook, it usually pays dividends really well. So try to make that connection early on.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for coming to the mastermind. Oh, we have one more share. Who wanted to share? One more win. One.
Yeah, just very quickly, the closing I had last week, I was able to get that buyer to review me on Facebook. So that becomes my first Facebook review. And then also I have a seller from an ST lead that came in December, who never heard one iota from him, contacted me this morning. They're not interested in selling. What they're interested in is buying land in order to eventually sell. So at that point, at least, I know that the the automations are working, and if not, I would probably have not heard from them. So those are my
That's-
2 wins for the week.
That's awesome, Juan. And something cool, you can now add that Facebook review automatically into your landing page. Have you done that?
No, because I don't know how to do that.
So if you go to your, in your StreetText settings, you should be able to find your Facebook pages.
Mhm.
And then under that, you'll find reviews. And then you can select the review as primary. And if you don't see it, just click refresh. And then that will automatically show up in your landing page, including your Facebook review.
Perfect. Thank you.
When do we get the custom landing pages? Mine still goes back to StreetText.
Your domain landing pages are set up there already. They're just, the links are going to be specific to each funnel that you're running, each landing page. The actual like domain, like the you know, whatever your domain is, the homepage, that's just pointing back to StreetText for now. Just for speed of getting this out there, we was basically are getting it out there as fast as possible. But the plan is to have actual, like a really nice homepage, and then actually link to all of your different offers right from there.
And it'll have the ad picture on it when it lands there, so they know what it is, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. And that's all built in already. So that URL is built in. It's just if you go to the domain.com, you're going to go just redirect it for now.
Okay. Cool. I just had my Facebook account stopped working, and I guess I reached my limit. So it was hard to get in there to figure it out, but I finally did it. So I'm good.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're set up.
Yeah, everything's working good. Lots of leads, lots of sharing in groups, which is giving me free clicks, which is crazy. Just too many leads to follow up on. I'm going to have to shut it off for a little bit.
That's a good problem. Now you can systems, right? Systems.
Yeah.
Systems, automations, and Grace had some great advice. Progress, not perfection. So yeah.
Thanks again, very much, guys.
Hey, what Rich just talked about is when you view your ad on the StreetText dashboard, it takes you to Facebook, of course, to see that ad. And he's sharing that ad into groups. He's sharing that ad to personal Facebook, because you don't pay for those clicks organically. So remember that share is so powerful, because you already have your own social influence, and within the groups that you're a part of, you can share that ad too. I just suggest share it with a little context, with your own personal touch. You know, say, hey, everybody, this is a complimentary service. It's my way of giving back. I'll even bring over your favorite cup of coffee. Just go ahead and start the process below.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing as you share it.
I kind of do it like I go, this thing is amazing. It even works in whatever little group I'm in. And then I say, you would be pleasantly surprised. Click here and check it out, and get a lot of response for that.
So there you go. You know, spread the love, not just because Facebook, let's face it, you're gonna pay for that. If it's sponsored and it's subject to that relevancy within that audience, why not bring some relevancy to the ad yourself organically? So something to think about.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a great.
Thank you. I hope you all learned something. I learned something today. That was cool. It was great.
Everybody have a great week. See you next week.
Bye.